Losing a loved one is never easy to deal with, and even harder for a 5-year-old who has just experienced that. This baby climbed into his mother's coffin because he didn't want to let her go, and when the family members opened the coffin, they were shocked. When it was announced in Cannes, France, that his mother had died, the first words he said were, "She can still sleep beside me tonight?" It was difficult for him to accept that she could no longer accompany him to school, to whom even he would say, "Mom, my clothes aren't strewn all over the house anymore. I folded them. How do you do it, Mommy? You can sleep next to me now." The little boy said these words to his mother in the coffin because he hoped that by convincing her of his good behavior, she would wake up. Because he believed that if he helped her fold his clothes correctly, he would convince his mother to talk to him. Let me tell you how their family history began. Catherine and Marco were married 15 years. They met in high school, and everyone knew that they would end up together. However, for 18 months, Catherine was adamant. She wanted nothing to do with Marco. Not that she stopped loving him, quite the contrary, because she always said she was afraid of loving him too much. But in the 18-month break, Marco hurt her feelings. 15 years ago, he broke her heart by making what he describes as the biggest mistake of his life. Catherine and he attended the same university. He was studying engineering while she majored in accounting. They were at a party to celebrate the end of their freshman year, but Catherine left early because she got a call from her mother. She was supposed to go to their village the next morning. Marco offered to leave the party and go with her, but she told him to have fun, that she didn't want him to deprive himself of that joy. He stayed at the party with Angela, Catherine's best friend. Catherine was about to take the taxi when she realized that she had forgotten her phone. She left it in the bathroom and went there immediately. After entering the club, she picked it up, and as she walked back to the taxi, she saw something she thought was impossible. She saw Marco and Angela kissing on the dance floor. It took a few seconds for her to find the words and break the silence, because they had noticed that she was looking at them. Marco ran after her, denying that night that their relationship ended. He tried to apologize for his mistakes for many months, but they never reconciled. But 18 months later, Catherine gave him another chance, and this time he didn't make any mistakes. It took the girl a while to trust him again, but he proposed to her 2 years after they got back together. However, it took 2 weeks for Catherine to say yes. The two lovebirds wanted to have a big family, and a year after their wedding, Catherine was pregnant. Her pregnancy went well with no complications. After 3 months, her first ultrasound revealed that she was pregnant with a boy. Kevin's delivery was easy, and 3 days later, mother and son were discharged from the hospital. 20 months after Kevin's birth, Catherine was pregnant with another child. The couple were excited, and their first child was looking forward to becoming the big brother. Kevin wanted to have brothers and sisters. On the day he was told that his mother was pregnant, he asked her if she was going to give birth the next morning. He is an adorable child. Sadly, Catherine was on her way to the hospital for her first ultrasound when she miscarried. It is difficult to describe the feelings of that night. Catherine was devastated. She was depressed and couldn't concentrate or do anything. "I had never seen my wife so sad," Marco said, adding it wasn't her fault, as she blamed herself. "I didn't want to see her in the dark state anymore. I told her I didn't want any more kids. But anyone who knows Catherine knows she doesn't give up. She took a while but then recovered. She wanted us to try again. After some time, Catherine conceived again. Although she enjoyed her job, she gave it up the day she found out she was pregnant. It also allowed her to spend more time with her son, or her beloved one, as she always called him. Like most boys, Kevin wasn't always easy, and his mother told him, "The day you learn to put things back where you found them is the day you stop being a rooster in cans for the 1,000th time. Don't leave your folded clothes lying around, and put them in the closet." Here's an example of what a daily conversation between Catherine and her son looked like. Being at home allowed the expectant mother to approach him. Kevin didn't like sleeping alone, so Catherine told him that she would sleep in his room if he folded his clothes. Although this system was not working all the time, it has become more organized. Sadly, things went wrong again for this family when Catherine miscarried again after 6 months. The family was devastated, and Catherine accepted what her husband said. It could be that she was destined not to have another child. Marco said that losing another baby was difficult for them. Catherine had a hard time accepting this, and it took her a while to turn the page. "I don't think you ever get over the loss of a child, even if it's a child you never had or brought into the world." Catherine decided to resume her career, but shortly before her first interview, she realized that she was pregnant again. This time, she wasn't as keen as she was in her previous pregnancies to avoid another tragedy, but she rested. And on the day of the ultrasound, the doctor comforted her by saying that her examination revealed that she was pregnant with a boy and that he was in good health. She went into labor 2 days before her due date. Marco took her to the local hospital in Seattle. She had a difficult birth, was on the delivery table for several hours, and finally gave birth to her second child. "We finally ended. What a wonderful news. I'm very happy for this family," said the father. But before the delivery was over, Catherine lost a lot of blood during labor, and despite all the efforts of the medical staff, she died shortly after giving birth. The doctor said that after that, she was able to hold her son in her arms. She was crying, and I knew they were tears of joy. Then I saw her face go white, as if life was slowly leaving her. That's how I lost my wife. But my only consolation is knowing that she was happy before she left. Kevin was completely devastated by the loss of his mother. As you can imagine, he put a chair next to her, and that was because he didn't want to let her go. He arranged the chairs to make a bed beside it. Then he said, "Mom, my clothes aren't all over the house. I folded them as you asked. You can sleep next to me now." So he asked his grandmother, Mary Shaw, why didn't his mother sleep in the house next to him on the day of Catherine's wake? Kevin climbed into his mother's casket and told everyone that he wanted to spend some more time with her. And his father, listening, agreed and allowed him to spend another hour with his mother. Little did people know that the 5-year-old boy had other reasons for wanting to stay with his mother. 1 hour later, when the pallbearers were about to move it, one of them noticed something strange. The family then decided to open the coffin, and what they saw shocked them. The little boy put his mother's favorite sweater in the coffin because he thought it could keep her warm while she slept peacefully. Kevin explained that she looked very tired and was cold, so he thought she needed that sweater. One thing is for sure, he's a little boy with a big heart. And his mother had a very special relationship that will last forever. May Catherine's soul rest in peace. What do you think of this incredible story? Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of the next videos. A big hug. See you later.